Hi. Okay, I had a student come in today and ask a question regarding how to approach one of the assignments. So if we go in, for example, to the Dropbox, you'll see your papers here. And we've had a few, for your section at least, a couple of film analysis is in. And those are going really well. I just want to give you some more like hints per se about how to approach doing the kind of doing the assignment. So if you're using the screencast-o-matic, I'm finding that people are using about 5 to 7 minutes to tell their papers. And again, the most effective papers using the screencast-o-matic are kind of production value. You want to make sure that you look pretty good, that the background's not super distracting, and you want to you don't have to read your paper. You want to talk, but you maybe want to have your references in front of you. So according to these two authors, X and X, in this year, they said, and I quote, blah, 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 blah. So if you're looking at the psychology of mourning and grief, that might be something that you had looked up in, in Galileo. Let's see if I can pull this tab up. All right. So if I go into CCGA and I want to look at the library. Oh, I skipped right over library there. I was going to back up because it's so much easier to hit this tab. So if you're going into do a search, I'm going to connect Galileo. Kind of give you an idea. And then that rubric of excellence, what you're doing in there is that you are, it's pressure, right? P. I'm at home getting ready for my class tonight. All right, so you kind of get into the database. So if you're doing a B-level paper, you're being very thoughtful. You're talking about Michael Jackson's funeral. Some people have talked about. You're talking about Gandhi's funeral. You're talking about famous funerals that are interesting to you. You can read online, kind of who was there and what it was like. But really, I always write my own papers first, my own ideas out, and then I go and I get supporting kind of documentation out of Galileo. So if I was going to look at, psychology and, oh boy, psychology and mourning practices. Let's see. All right. A little slow on the old typing. Then it should get me some articles in here. Now, sometimes you can only find the abstracts in here, but you can quote from an abstract, and that's not going to be a problem for you. All right, so here we have a review of working with the bereaved, multiple lenses on loss and mourning, suicide and mortuary beliefs and practices of some folks in Ghana. So that could be something you look at: cross-cultural, critical psychology, a geography, intellectual engagement, and resistance. I'm not sure how that's related. So, it's a search. You're searching in here. And a therapist in mourning. Principles and practice of grief counseling. Panic and mourning, the cultural work of trauma. So we can go in here, or we can look at psychology and burial practices. Let's see if they have something here. So we can go in and take a look at this particular search, suicide and mortuary beliefs. That's that same article, making me think that this is a field that is not extensively researched. It's interesting. Tending patient funerals. Let's see here. Perinatal death, that's a different kind of death, of course. Life and death and the psychology of a project, that sounds more about your work not turning out well. Let's see here. Everything you ever wanted to know about Arab Americans and their mental health. So I might go up and I might just put burial practices and see if I can get something here. Looks like it wants me to use the word rituals. So I'll back up. Anyhow, this is an authentic look at what it's like to do one of these searches. And here you have pollen and parasite eggs. How about we put human and burial rituals? We'll get there. So let's see here. Arrangement of human remains and artifacts in burials, dramatic rituals or ritual dramas. Dun, 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 dun. Myth, ritual, and human sacrifice in early classical Mesoamerica. Well, that'd be interesting. I mean, human sacrifice is an interesting idea. Cutting decaying bodies, micro cut marks. All right, that sounds a little bit esoteric. This looks like it's getting into the anthropology, so I'm going to put in psychology in here and see if we can get something. The psychology of human behavior. So now it's suicide and mortuary beliefs and practices. Boy, that article keeps coming up. That person must get 1,000 hits a day. Mortal rituals. That actually looks like it might be interesting, and that's an ebook, so you could actually get that and look through that to see if there's something. Wow, this is an airplane crash. The ancients did not fix their graves. Failure in early Confucian ritual. That sounds esoteric. Play in human cognition, coping with death and loss, Confucian perspectives in the use of rituals. Here's something that might be interesting. But you're certainly, I mean, I'm not obviously showing off here. I'm actually doing what it's like to do a search. So, this colony is in the United States. We rise out of the cradle into the grave, an ethnographic exploration of ritual, mourning, and death. Wow, that would be really fascinating. There's full text there. When it gets time to do your, let's say you want to do this and get your ideas and go, whoa, I'll do like a couple pages on this. This sounds pretty interesting, or a page on this. When it gets time to do your citation, APA style, you go to Cite, and you just find APA. This is ridiculously easy. And you go like that. And you put it at the end of your paper. And then you have perfect APA referencing. If you would like to do more searching, you could go through here and keep looking. Psychology and death. And that might give you some other material. Not death penalty. We just want death. Might give you some other ideas in here. Goes. Effective technology in the psychology of death and dying. Wow, okay, that's somebody's dissertation, really interesting. What's cool is that I'm just laughing because, this is one of these tricks, like how do I cite a dissertation? Oh, well, let's not think about it too much, right? Never memorize anything you can look up. So that would be the perfect way to cite a dissertation. Okay. When in doubt in other situations, what you need to do is to go to the Purdue Writing Lab. Oops, sorry. And you want to get in here, and you can just do, I would just put in your APA. So Purdue OWL. This is going to give you every single type of formatting and citation that you need for APA style. And you can come on here yourself and look around, research and citation APA style. So you will have a whole style here. You might look at citation just to look at how to use research that you've conducted. I know that they also have different types of samples of papers. Anyhow, you have to go in here yourself. This is just my little demo, and you will find more information on the OWL site, including how to, put your material into the body of your paper. Okay, I hope that helps. So B and C papers are doing exactly what the professor said. I did exactly what she said. However, you just got a B. You need to distinguish your papers to get those A's. You need to use good citation, not just good in the sense that it's well formed or crafted, but good in the sense that what you're offering to me supports your ideas. So if you want to talk about differences within the United States of cultural and death practices, burial practices, views on death and dying, you might look at Native Americans, then you might look at that Hutterite community that I showed you the reference for. And you might look at, folks in New Orleans who have different types of, views about how one leads somebody out in that transition from life or death. All right, I hope that's helpful. A papers are doing something different. All right, you're doing above and beyond. That's what an A is. That's what A's are. All right, thanks so much. I hope this helps. Take good care. Sorry it's a bit long, but I hope it's helpful. Bye.